Ada screamed so loudly that the whole village heard her. People rushed out of their houses, thinking something terrible had happened. When they got to her compound, they saw her sitting on the floor, shaking and crying. Her wrapper was halfway off her waist, and her eyes were wide with fear. "He came to me. He touched me. My husband came to me last night," Ada said in a shaky voice. The villagers were confused. "Which husband?" Mama Chuka asked, looking scared. "My husband Chike," Ada whispered. "He came back, even though he's dead." Everyone froze. Chike had died 3 months ago in a car accident. He was a good man, young, strong, and full of life. He loved Ada so much. They had no children yet, and she was still mourning his death. Since Chike died, Ada had not been the same. She stopped laughing. She barely spoke. Every day, she would sit by his grave and talk to him like he was still alive. People pitied her. They thought she was just grieving. But nobody expected what happened next. That night, Ada went to bed early. She did not lock her door or window. She always said, "If Chike's spirit comes to me, I don't want to block him." People laughed at her, but she didn't care. Around midnight, a strange cold breeze entered her room. She sat up and looked around. That was when she heard footsteps. Slow, heavy footsteps, like Chike used to walk. "Chike?" she called. Suddenly, she saw him. He looked just like her late husband. The same height, the same broad chest, the same face. But his feet were not touching the ground. His eyes glowed faintly. "I told you I would never leave you," he said in a deep voice. Ada gasped. Her body froze. But strangely, she wasn't afraid. She felt peace and love. He walked toward her, touched her face, and kissed her. She didn't understand what was happening. She only remembered that she closed her eyes, and everything went dark. The next morning, she woke up sweating. Her wrapper had been pulled down. The room smelt like Chike's favorite perfume. She ran outside screaming, "Chike came to me! My husband is back! He touched me!" The villagers came again. Some shook their heads. Others said, "This woman has finally gone mad." 2 weeks later, something shocking happened. Ada fainted at the village square. People gathered around her and rushed her to the health center. The nurse ran tests and came back with big eyes. "Ada, you are pregnant," the nurse said. Ada sat up slowly. "Yes, I know," she said quietly. Everyone in the room gasped. "You know?" the nurse asked. "But how? Have you been with any man?" Ada nodded. "Yes, my husband." The nurse looked confused. "Your husband? But he's dead," Ada said, "but he came to me." The news spread like fire. Chike's family came to her house that same day. His elder brother Okoro was boiling with anger. His mother, Mama Chike, was crying and shouting. "You are carrying a baby in my late son's house?" Mama Chike screamed. "How dare you? You have been sleeping with another man in Chike's bed." Ada knelt and begged them. "I didn't sleep with any man. I swear. Chike came back to me. He touched me. I don't know how to explain it, but the baby is his." Okoro kicked a chair across the room. "Liar! You are a disgrace to our family. Pack your things and leave this house today." Ada begged and cried. She told them again and again that she was telling the truth, but they refused to believe her. By evening, they chased her out of the house. "You will never bring that bastard child near us," Mama Chike shouted as Ada walked out with her bag, crying. That night, strange things began to happen. Mama Chike was sleeping in her room when she heard a loud knock on her door. It was past midnight. She sat up, frightened. "Who is there?" she asked. No answer. Suddenly, the door flew open by itself. The candle in her hand blew out. Darkness filled the room. Then she heard a voice. "Mama, you chased my wife away?" Her eyes widened. She screamed and fainted. The next morning, Okoro was found lying in his bed, shaking. He had scratch marks all over his body. "He dragged me under the ground. His hands were ice cold. His eyes were on fire," he muttered. Aunt Ngozie's kitchen, too, caught fire mysteriously, even though she didn't light the stove. Uncle Akene's car refused to start, and when he opened it, the seats were full of wet mud and footprints, bare feet. Chike's ghost was angry. They called a prayer man to come and pray for the family. After a long prayer, the man looked at them and said, "Your son's spirit is not at peace. He is angry because you treated his wife badly. He has come to defend her." Mama Chaik began to cry. "Chaik, my son, forgive me." But it was too late. Ada was living in a friend's house by now. She was alone, but peaceful. She hadn't had another strange dream since the night Chaik came. But then one evening, he appeared again in her sleep. He smiled and touched her belly. "I will always protect you and our baby. Don't go back to that house. Raise our child far away. I will never leave you." She woke up with tears in her eyes, but a smile on her lips. She knew she wasn't alone. The wind blew hard that night. Leaves flew across the small village, and the moon disappeared behind dark clouds. Somewhere far away, a dog howled. Ada sat alone inside the small hut her friend, Mama Ifeoma, gave her after she was chased out. Her belly had started to show. The pregnancy was growing fast, faster than normal. Even the midwife was surprised. "This is not an ordinary child," the old woman said after checking Ada's stomach. "The baby is strong, too strong. I feel a powerful spirit around you." Ada only smiled. "His name will be Chibuikem," she said. "It means God is my strength. He is my gift from heaven." But peace did not last long. One day, as Ada was washing clothes near the river, a shadow appeared behind her. She turned around quickly, and her heart almost stopped. It was Mama Chaik. Behind her stood Okoro and two other angry relatives. They had followed her to the river. "You shameless woman!" Mama Chaik shouted. "So this is where you're hiding?" Ada stood up slowly. "What do you want from me?" "You sent me away. I didn't disturb any of you." "You are disturbing us by still being alive," Okoro growled. "How can a woman be pregnant for a ghost? Do you think we're stupid?" One of the uncles stepped forward. "We came to take you to a native doctor. If your story is true, he will see it. But if you are lying, we will wash your womb with bitter roots." Ada shook her head in fear. "Please leave me alone. I've done nothing wrong. I'm carrying my husband's child. Chaik knows. And soon, the whole world will know." Okoro raised his hand to slap her, but before his palm could touch Ada's face, a strong wind blew across the river and knocked him down flat. Everyone screamed. The water in the river began to bubble, even though no one was inside. A loud voice echoed from nowhere. "Touch her again, and you will not live to see the next moon." They all ran. Even Mama Chaik threw her wrapper and took off barefoot. Ada stood there, shocked and shaking. It was Chaik's voice. That same night, Ada began to bleed. She screamed in pain. Mama Ifeoma rushed in and found her on the floor. My baby, Ada cried. They ran to the old midwife, who tried everything to stop the bleeding. She gave Ada herbs, rubbed oil on her belly, and prayed with shaking hands. "This child wants to go back to the spirit world," the midwife whispered. "No," Ada cried. "I will not lose him. Please, Chaik, help me. Help your son." Suddenly, the room became still. The lamp flickered. A cold wind blew through the closed window. And just like that, the bleeding stopped. Ada sat up, weak and sweaty, but smiling. "He's still here. I can feel him kicking." The midwife touched her stomach again and gasped. "This child is not human. He's something else, sent from another world." Meanwhile, weeks later, back in Chike's family house, strange things were still happening. Mama Chaik had stopped eating. Every time she put food in her mouth, it turned to sand. Her body became very thin. Her eyes sank deep into her face. "My son is punishing me," she whispered one night. "He visits me every night in my dreams, asking why I threw his wife away." Okoro began to talk to himself. He would sit by the fire and argue with thin air. "I told her to leave because of the shame," he would say. "I didn't know the child was real. I didn't know." The village priest visited them and gave them holy water. "If you want peace," the priest said, "you must beg Ada. Until she forgives you, this spirit will never leave your house." But they were too proud. They refused. 9 months passed faster than anyone expected. On the night of Ada's labor, the sky turned red. Thunder roared even though there was no rain. Lightning flashed again and again. The villagers gathered in fear. Inside Mama Ifeoma's hut, Ada was screaming. The midwife was crying, "This baby is coming with fire." All the candles in the room went out at once. Then, a strange white light filled the room. Ada screamed one last time and the baby came out. There was no blood, no pain, just silence. Then the baby cried a cry so loud and powerful that all the dogs in the village barked. Outside, people said they saw a tall man in white standing on the roof, but when they ran closer, he disappeared. The baby looked exactly like Chaik. Same nose, same eyes, same little birthmark on the chest. The next morning, something shocking happened. Mama Chaik came crawling on her knees into the hut, crying. "Forgive me, Ada," she begged. "Forgive us! We didn't know! We were blind!" She looked at the baby and burst into fresh tears. "He is my son's child! I can see it clearly now!" Okoro came too, his clothes torn, face dirty, and eyes red. "Please let us hold him," he begged. But Ada stood firm. "No," she said. "You told me to leave. You called him a bastard. You tried to kill me. Now you want to carry him?" "We were wrong," Mama Chaik said, holding her chest. "Please, let us make it right. Please." Ada looked at the child, then back at them. "You will not touch this child until Chaik says it's time," she said. Then she walked back into the house and closed the door. That night, the people of the village agreed on one thing: they had never seen such a story before. A woman pregnant for her dead husband, a baby that came from the spirit world, and a ghost that punished his own family to protect the wife he loved. People said it was only a matter of time before something strange happened again, and they were right. It started one quiet night, just 2 months after Ada gave birth. The baby was now chubby, strong, and beautiful. He hardly cried. He smiled at everyone. But one night, something unbelievable happened. Ada had just finished breastfeeding him and laid him gently on a mat. She was about to doze off when she heard it. A voice. Small, gentle, clear. "Where is Papa's ring?" Ada jumped up. Her heart beat fast. She turned to look at her baby. His eyes were closed, and his mouth was moving, but he was asleep. "Where is Papa's ring?" he repeated. Ada froze. "My God! He's talking in his sleep!" She ran to the baby, picked him up, and rocked him gently. His eyes fluttered open, and he gave her a sweet smile. "Mama," he said softly. That was when she screamed. By morning, half the village had heard the story. "A baby that talks at 2 months?" one man asked. "That child is not ordinary," another woman said. "Ada must not allow anyone to touch him, not even to play." Others weren't so kind. "It's a ghost child," some whispered. "He should not be among the living." 2 months later, something else happened. Chaik's family came again, this time with gifts, big ones, cloth, food, money, even gold earrings for Ada. Mama Chaik knelt before Ada's small house. "I know we were wrong. I beg you, Ada, let us hold our son's child. Let us be part of his life." Ada looked at her, then looked at the baby. "His name is Chibuikem," she said. "But you will not take him. He belongs to me, and to Chike." "We're not here to take him," Okoro said, stepping forward. "We only want to bless him and carry him for a few minutes." Ada thought for a moment. "Just a few minutes," she said. "But only if the child agrees." They laughed nervously. "How can a baby agree?" Okoro said. "You'll see," Ada replied. She turned to Chibuikem, who was playing with a wooden spoon. "My son," she said gently, "do you want to go to Grandma?" The child stopped playing. He looked at Mama Chaik, then started crying. Not just small crying, loud, painful, angry crying. The room shook. The mirror on the wall cracked. A cold wind blew in and put out the candle. Everyone screamed. Mama Chaik fell to the floor, shaking. "Forgive me, Chaik! Please forgive me!" Ada held the child tightly. "He doesn't want to go. His spirit knows what you did." Chibuikem stopped crying immediately. The wind stopped. The candle came back on. Everyone ran out of the house, including Okoro. That night, Chaik came to Ada in her dream again. He stood by the window, wearing the same white cloth. He looked peaceful. "Thank you for protecting our son," he said. "But danger is coming. Danger? Ada asked. From who? From someone in the village. Someone who wants to take him away and sell his spirit. Ada gasped. Why would anyone do that? Chaik looked down. Some people don't like what they don't understand. They want to silence this story, or use it for evil. What should I do? She asked. Keep him close. Never let him out of your sight. And listen carefully to your dreams. The next day, Ada didn't go anywhere. She locked her door and kept Chibuikam close. She refused visitors. But still, the danger came. A woman named Emma, who used to be close to Ada before the pregnancy, came with a smile and some food. I cooked yam porridge for you, she said sweetly. I know you must be tired. Ada looked at the food suspiciously. It's okay, Emma said. I haven't poisoned it. I didn't say you did, Ada replied. But the child, Chibuikam, suddenly began to cry and spit. Take it away, Ada said quickly. He knows. You brought this to harm him. Emma's smile disappeared. Her eyes turned cold. You think you're the only one who has spirit children? She hissed. You think the gods only love you? Ada gasped. So it's true? You want to harm my son? Emma laughed darkly. There's a powerful man in the city. He buys spirit children. They say their body carries power. With one drop of his blood, a poor man can become a king. You're wicked, Ada screamed. Get out of my house! You can't stop what's coming, Ma said, walking out. That child won't live past his first birthday. Mark my words. That night, Ada didn't sleep. She sat by her child with a cutlass in one hand and her Bible in the other. She prayed. She sang. She called on Chaik's spirit. At midnight, the lamp began to flicker. A shadow passed outside her window. She held her breath. Then a loud boom came from the door. Someone was trying to break in. Jesus! She screamed. Chaik! Help us! The door flew open and wind rushed into the room. Suddenly, a man was lifted off the ground and thrown across the yard. Another man screamed as fire appeared on his clothes. Emma was outside too, wearing red beads, chanting something. But a huge, invisible hand slapped her so hard she flew into the bush. By the time villagers came with lamps and torches, they found Ada holding her child, untouched. But the attackers were lying on the ground, shaking. Mama's beads had turned to dust. The priest came the next morning. These people were trying to kidnap a child of the spirit, he said. But his father's ghost is stronger than any evil. He looked at Ada. Your son will be great, but the battle isn't over yet. Protect him always. Ada looked at her baby boy, who was smiling as if nothing had happened. Chibuikam, she whispered. No one will take you from me, not even death. Months later, it was early morning when the village woke up to a loud sound, a bell ringing by itself in the old shrine that had been abandoned for years. The bell hadn't made a sound since the chief priest died. But today, it rang 5 times. Ada, still half asleep, stepped out with her baby in her arms and looked toward the hills. Something was different. The air felt heavy. The birds were silent. Even the trees seemed afraid. That same morning, the oldest woman in the village came to her. Chibuikam must be taken to the river before his first birthday, she said seriously. If not, the spirit world will come for him. That child is not fully human. He is a bridge between 2 worlds. Ada looked down at her baby boy, now crawling and trying to speak full words. She held him tighter. No one is taking him anywhere. But the message spread. By evening, people began to talk. It's true. That boy is different. They said he talked in his sleep before he was 3 months old. Do you know he doesn't blink when he looks at fire? Some people were afraid of him. Others believed he was a blessing. But one thing was clear, Chibuikam's first birthday was coming. And something big would happen. 2 days later, Ada had a dream again. She was standing by Chaik's grave, holding her son. Then, Chaik appeared, dressed in all white. His face looked calm, but serious. It's time, he said. Time for what? Ada asked. You must take him to the river where we first met, he replied. If you don't, others will come for him. They want to separate him from you. Ada's eyes filled with tears. Are you taking him away from me? No, Chaik said. But the child has a calling, a light too big for this village. If he stays, they will keep trying to harm him. I will protect you, but not forever. The dream faded. Ada woke up crying. The next morning, she packed her things. She wrapped Chibuikim in soft cloth, tied her Bible to her waist, and began walking toward the river where she and Chike had spent their first courtship days. The same river where he had once proposed to her. Mama Ifioma tried to stop her. "You can't go alone," she cried. "Let me follow you." But Ada shook her head. "Number, I must do this alone. Chike will be there." She walked for hours. The sun burned her neck. Her feet were swollen, but she kept going. When she reached the river, it was quiet. Too quiet. Then she saw something that made her stop. A shadow was sitting on a rock in the middle of the river. It was tall, still, watching. Then, slowly, it stood and began walking across the water. "Chike?" Ada whispered. "Yes," the voice replied. The shadow walked closer until it stood on the riverbank. It looked exactly like her late husband, but this time, his feet touched the ground. "I was given permission to come. One last time," he said softly. Ada burst into tears. "Why do I feel like this is goodbye?" Chike touched her face. "Because it is, but only from me, not from our son. He is yours. He will grow with you, but I must leave, completely, so that he can fully live." She held his hand tightly. "What happens now?" she asked. Cheek knelt beside Chibuikim, who was playing with a stone. He smiled at the boy. "My son, I bless you. You will be a light in the darkness. You will never lack protection. Your enemies will fall before they touch you." Then he reached into the river and pulled out something shiny. It was a golden ring. "My wedding ring," Chike said. "I buried it here after I died. Give it to him when he turns 18. He stood up, placed the ring in Ada's hand, and smiled. Then slowly, he began to fade. Ada tried to hold him again, but her hands passed through empty air. "Wait!" she cried. "Please don't go!" His voice echoed softly. "I never left." And then he was gone. The sky turned dark. The river rose. Ada quickly backed away, holding Chibuikim close. Then a bright light came from the water and surrounded them. It lifted them gently and placed them back on the river path. The wind whispered, "It is done." Ada fell to her knees and cried. From that day forward, peace returned. Chibuikim stopped talking in his sleep. He grew like a normal child, but very wise. His eyes were always calm, like someone who had seen many things. People in the village changed their minds. "He's not a ghost child," they said. "He's a child of favor." Even Mama Chike returned again, older and weaker. She knelt in front of Ada and said, "Please, let me be his grandmother before I die." Ada allowed it, but she warned them, "If anyone ever tries to harm my son again, even the earth will rise to fight." On Chibuikim's 10th birthday, Ada threw a small celebration. She cooked jollof rice, fried chicken, and gave thanks to God. When it was time to bless the child, the pastor came and placed his hand on the boy's head. But before he could say a word, Chibuikim looked into his eyes and said softly, "It is well, Pastor. Say amen." The whole church fell silent. Then the pastor burst into tears. "God has truly visited this house," he said. Years passed. Chibuikim grew into a smart, quiet, and strong young boy. He knew things no one taught him. He could sense danger. He always dreamt of his father and said, "Papa still watches us from the sky." On his 18th birthday, Ada gave him the golden ring. He cried. Then he hugged her and said, "Thank you for protecting me, Mama. I will make you proud." And he did. Chibuikim became a great man, known across many lands, a healer, a leader, a man of wisdom. Many kings visited him for advice, but he never forgot his story. And he never forgot the woman who raised him alone, and the ghost who loved them both enough to return.